All right, all right, all right. Hey, everybody, let me make sure we're coming through. Make sure everybody can see and hear me. I'm bringing it up in YouTube. And we're live. Excellent, excellent. Oh, let me mute that real quick. There we go. All right. Hey, everybody. I hope everybody's having a fantastic evening. It is once again Saturday night, and of course, there's a cat that has to be right in front of me. You guys know the deal with these cats. I got one right there who's inappropriately licking herself while on camera. Young lady, stop what you're doing. Hey, stranger, stranger. Hey, damn it. Oh well, never mind. And of course, Regal right here in front of me. She would definitely be considered my desk kitty. She's getting attention right now and she's happy. But guys, it's Saturday night and we are once again live streaming. I hope everybody's having a fantastic weekend. I hope everybody's staying safe. I hope everybody who had to deal with storms last week or so, whenever it was not last week, but the week before, everybody's bounced back from that. I know Avery, he lost power at his home for several days. I think he were out without power for almost 3 days, maybe longer. But he's back up and running. I sent him an invite. If he's able to join, he'll probably will. But in the meantime, let's get the show started. Hello, everybody. Let's see who all's here. The Costanza's in the house. Says Florida can't catch a break with hurricanes. It's like they're all intentionally sent over. Sometimes it feels that way. We went, this whole season was very, very quiet. And all of a sudden it got busy. And that doesn't really surprise us. It happens. But, we're usually ready and okay with them. So when storms comes, we'll just, buckle down and do our thing, BB's in the house. Says hi to Costanza. Says, I feel awful for those folks in North Carolina. Yes. My mother-in-law was telling me that she was watching on the news about some small town that was like completely wiped off the map. That's just crazy. Because they don't expect storms like that to affect such a big, large area, especially inland as it did. So, yeah, our thoughts with everybody that was affected, BB says, we're the only ones here right now. Looks that way. Actually, what I did tonight, I went ahead and got the stream set up about 15 minutes before 8. And one of the things it allows you to do is to schedule the live stream. So I said, what the heck, I'll go ahead and do that. I set it for 8 o'clock and it literally just put a countdown at the top of my screen telling me when it's time to go. And I was worried that it was going to just start without me. It was just going to start at exactly 8 and whether I was sitting in front of the computer or not, but luckily it didn't. It did not do that. So I was on time. Even though I got it set up earlier. So, but thank you. Tim's in the house. Says good evening, all from Western Kentucky. Welcome, sir. Jim says evening and happy Saturday. It is definitely a happy Saturday. BB says hello to everyone. Jim says evening, BB and the Costanza. BB says hi to Jim. And BB says, okay, where's Drew? I was on time. It just seemed like I was running late because I set the stream up like 10-15 minutes before I went live. So you probably got the notification that the stream was going to start soon. So, hey, I'm proud of myself for being here on time. Manuel's in the house. Says good evening, everyone. Welcome, sir. It's good to hear you. Good to see you. BB says, there he is. That's right. Andy says, hey, Drew, welcome to the show, Andy. Manuel says, yes, where is Drew, BB? Yeah, I'm here. Ruby 2 says, good evening. Welcome to the show, Ruby. Tim says, prayers for the loss of life and the people who are recovering the best they can. Absolutely. I think a lot of places that got hit were not expecting what they got. In Florida, we pretty much, this is an annual thing with us. We know wind, we know rain, we know flooding, we know power outages. We're well versed in all those things. It's when places that don't expect it get it that it hurts, and it affects a lot more people because it's not something they're used to. So definitely thoughts with everyone. Costanza says cats do love the attention like the scammers do. They do. Did you guys Anybody get a chance to watch the video I put out this morning? I will be honest with you. I felt kind of guilty about putting such a short video. I think it was just barely over 3 minutes long, but I had so much fun messing with that lady. Oh my gosh, it was so fun. For those of you who may not have seen it, it was a funeral expense scam call, and the lady, when she first said her initial pitch, um, she said something at the very end, and I could not make out what she was saying. So I said, "What did you say?" Well, she started all over again from the beginning, and I'm like, "Ooh, this could be fun. How many times can I get her to repeat her script?" And I went for a record-breaking, well, 4 times. I think after the 4th time, she was pretty much well versed in the fact that all I was doing was messing with her and screwing with her. So I was like, "So if you guys get a scam call and the person reads a part of their script, ask them to repeat it. And when they do, say, wait, exactly what? Wait, I missed part of that. Can you say it again?" And see how many times you can get them to repeat the same part of their script. I had a ball, and I hope you do too. Dave says hello to Drew. Welcome, Dave. Sarah's in the house. Sarah says, "Hi, all. This was my birthday on Thursday, and my son's is Monday." Well, happy belated birthday, Sarah. I hope you had a good time. Fantastic. Jim says, "Hey to Manuel, my friend." BB says, "Yes, please keep all who are affected by the hurricane." Absolutely. Reed's here. Hey, Reed. Welcome to the show. Says, "Good evening. Welcome, welcome." Mystic Gaming says, "Hey, how you doing? Welcome." Tattles in the house says, "Like and subscribe." Oh yeah. If you get an opportunity, hit the like button. You can subscribe too if you haven't subscribed, because my whole thing is daily videos, daily shorts, and we live stream Saturday nights. And before I go too far, I need to mention I may not be able to live stream next Saturday. We're going to be on the road Saturday. We're going up to, oh my goodness gracious. Stranger, give me just 1 second. Hold on just a quick second. This will be really quick, I promise. You need to go out? Come on, big girl. There you go. Jump. All right, bye. All right. She's not the vocal one. She's not the one that'll sit at the door and whine and cry. That's this big baby right here. But she will not give up until you let her out. Stranger, that is. So, as I was saying, next weekend, we're driving up to Kansas City, Missouri for a wedding. It's going to take us 2 days to drive up there. We're there for 2 days, and it's going to take us 2 days to drive back. And of course, we're leaving on Friday, which means Saturday, there's a really good chance we're still going to be on the road. So there's no way I'm going to be able to live stream next Saturday. And then the wedding is actually on Sunday. So there's no way I'm going to be able to live stream next Sunday. So I'm going to have to try to create a special video and schedule it for 8 o'clock Saturday night. So there won't be a live stream next week. And maybe we'll double up the week after. Maybe we'll do something. We'll do something special. But thank you very much, Tattle, for reminding us. Like and subscribe. Thanks, everybody. Sarah says, "How are you doing with all the hurricanes?" We did just fine, to be honest with you. I think I've told you guys before, I have a roof leak in the middle of my store. And I have a big tub that I leave when I'm not at the store in order to catch any rain that might come through. And that entire week, barely any water at all. So we didn't get a lot of rain. We got wind. We got a lot of wind around here, but very little rain. So most everybody here did very, very good. Manuel says hello to Costanza. Burst is in the house. Hey, Burst says, "Good evening, everyone in the chat. And is everyone doing well?" Absolutely. Manuel says hello to his friend Jim. Glenn says, "Hit the like button." Hey, Glenn, I watched your video. That was so much fun. Glenn's a very good singer. He's part of a group, and they all sing very, very well. A lot of fun there. You should find out if you can share that video with people. But I understand copyright claims because you're singing songs that belong to somebody else. But Glenn, good job, my friend. Good job. Jim says hey to Reed and Tattle and Sarah. Dave says hello to Manuel. Jim says hello to Mystic Gaming. Boomer's here. Hey, Boomer, how's it going? Says it's live. Hi, Drew, BB, Manuel, and whoever else shows up. Wow, we got a lot of people showing up, so we love it. We absolutely love it. Manuel says, hey to Glenn. Welcome back. Mystic says, hey, Misfit Corner Scams. Love your videos. You're awesome. Keep up the good work. Oh, thank you, sir. You're gonna make me blush. Mystic says, hey to Jim. Manuel says, hey to Dave. Ruby says, I love watching you daily. I get a good chuckle off of those sorry scammers. I'm so sick of the PCH scammers. It's just so stupid. I have not gotten one of the Publisher Clearinghouse in a long time. What's so funny is when I first started this channel, people mentioned the Publishers Clearinghouse scams. And at the time, I had not gotten one. I have since then gotten one or two in probably my entire time doing this, but I don't get them very often. So I got to find out what lists they work off of and get my name on some of those lists. You know what I mean? I'm sure it's out there. Manuel says, hey to Mystic. BB says, I lost power from 4 p.m. on Friday to 4:42 p.m. Saturday, but that's nothing compared to what others went through and were going through. So sad. That is absolutely true. Yeah, like I said, Avery went with 3 days, and he got very frustrated and tried to go out and buy a generator, and it was just very difficult to do. So I think he's looking to prepare for next time. But yeah, it's rather a kick in the teeth when you lose power for a long time. So Jim says, hey to Ruby. Manuel says, good evening to Ruby. 2008 AMP1 says Florida is getting another hurricane next weekend, Thursday, coming through your area. No, we'll see. We'll see. Actually, we hit the road on Friday, so we'll see how it affects us. But there's always a chance it might delay stuff. You never know. And trust me, if it ends up delaying our trip or canceling our trip, which is always a possibility too, I will keep you guys informed. Guess who just joined? What's up, my friend?
Hey, what's up?
How you doing?
Splitting headache.
Splitting headache? Well, if you're not up for it, you don't have to stay, but I appreciate you chiming in.
Yeah.
I did need to tell you something. After the show, or I can always just text you later, but I have something I need to tell you about. Nothing important, nothing vital, nothing like, crazy, but just need to keep you informed, okay? So just remind me to do that. You're all right to hang out for a little bit?
I guess so.
All right, cool. Jim says, good evening to Manuel. Mystic says, sending love to the victims of Hurricane Helena in America and the UK are praying for you. Thank you very much. I know they appreciate it. Ruby says, 2 of my former classmates lost their homes in Florida. Prayers, appreciation for them. David and Mary are their names. Do you know, Ruby, do you know if they have like GoFundMes or anything like that to help? Because we could definitely blast it out there if you're aware of any of that. Mystic says, hey to Jim. Manuel says, hey, say hello, superstar cat, my friend Drew. Oh, yes. Regal is definitely a superstar. Amp says it's coming from the Gulf through Tampa west to east. Okay, well, usually if a hurricane comes up through the coast or through the Gulf and then comes across, by the time we start to feel the major effects, it's already started to die down. The ones that we're usually afraid of are the ones that come like right up the East Coast and like strafe us, because when it hits for a long period of time. But if it's coming across us, it's a half a day or a couple hours of rain and wind, and then power outages and stuff like that.
Yeah, usually hurricanes die before they get this far in, but guess what? This last one didn't.
Now, that last one was on a mission to disrupt as many lives as possible,
Dude,
I think it did a good job.
A hurricane staying a hurricane all the way up to the Carolinas.
Oh yeah.
That's extremely unusual.
Do you remember that year that one storm went up through and hit New York? And they like flooded the sewer system, not the sewer system, the subway system. Yeah. That was crazy. I don't think Todd and them were up there at that time. I think maybe, I don't know, remember, that was crazy. They were not expecting it. They didn't, they hadn't had experience with it before.
Todd was
but it
still
shut
in New
them.
York.
He was? Okay.
Oh, it collapsed buildings.
Oh yeah. Well, but here in Florida, we're like, we're so used to hurricanes sometimes. In some areas, we're used to it, But yeah, they can be devastating. Burst says, of course, with the hurricanes, there'll be a lot of scam calls. That's one thing I haven't gotten. I haven't gotten any scam calls related to the storm, whether it be roof repair or home improvements or anything else. So I'm still waiting for it. But it's all been the normal stuff. They haven't really branched out into anything else. I thought those genetic swab testing ones were going to become more prevalent, and then they died down, and now they're picking back up again. So, and that has nothing to do with storms, but it's just them wanting Medicare information. So Aaron's here. Hey, Aaron, how's it going? Says hi to Drew and everyone. Welcome to the show. Manuel says hi to Amp. Boomer says, I see your kitty is in the background doing his thing. Yeah, she is. She is. Well, she's gone now. So Burr says hey to Aaron. Glenn says, Friday, 87 degrees, 10% humidity in Colorado. Don't you wish Florida was like this sometimes? Actually, I'm looking forward to the 60 and 70 degree days. Humidity, I could care less about. I mean, it's going to hit us no matter what, but I'm waiting for the cold weather. I need, and when I say cold weather, 72 to us is cold. Some people might think that's fantastic, but you see people starting to wear sweaters, when it gets down into the 50s and 60s, where we love it. We personally love it, but people react crazy around here. Burr says, love the kitty. Oh, well, then she's yours. Come and get her. Come and get him. Manuel says, my friend Drew, I was at my doctor's appointment last Tuesday, and I was at my doctor's appointment earlier yesterday and Friday morning. Okay, well, I hope everything's better. I know your leg's getting better, so that's a good thing. That's a good thing. BB says, I think they must have had some bad storms in Pakistan or India as well. Not like here, but I did see that they had some thunderstorms. Really? Okay. Well, I remember when they had that flooding there, the scam calls went really, really far down. Hey, weather affects everybody, no matter where you live, Jim says that video of your old scammer friend James didn't want you to be your friend anymore. What happened? Wasn't he your favorite scammer? Actually, the one that I got recently that said his name was James, that's not the original James. That's not my James. That was just a different James. But yeah, I want to be there. I want to be all their friends. Want them all to call me as often as they want and say hi and see if they do. Andy says that one scam call this morning was good. You should do that. Repeat their scripts as many times as you can. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. Sarah says, "Who's the black cat?" That would be Stranger. That would be the stray cat that showed up at our back door last year, the night before we were supposed to get a hard freeze, and she walked into the house and has never left. And we kept her, and I claimed her, so she's my cat. Matter of fact, I think I just heard her at the door. She wants to get back in. Well, she's gonna have to take a number and join us later. Glenn says, I'm back. Sorry I missed last week, but listening to the replay when I got home, I got 2 scam calls on stage during the competition. Luckily, my phone was muted. Phew. Yeah, trust me, I understand getting scam calls while you're in the middle of doing something. I've gotten scam calls while at family gatherings, and they get really mad at me when I answer the phone. But I got to do it. BB says, I only got 1 scam call yesterday. What did I get yesterday? I got a pretty decent number. I don't know if any of them really were worth making into calls. I think that one from this morning was yesterday. There was another one from yesterday. It was also a funeral expense one. That one I made into a video, which is going to be scheduled for one of those days that I'm going to be out of town. I think it's matter of fact, I think it's next Sunday. So if I try to make sure I get stuff pre-done for those days that I'm going to be away. And since I know when I'm leaving and when I'm coming back, I'm going to have everything rescheduled because I do not want to interrupt the once a day video, once a day shorts. That I do not want to interrupt that because a lot of my subscribers have gotten very used to that, and I think they might panic if I didn't post a video. Yeah, I have a customer who the last time he came in, I was joking with him because I know exactly when he last came in because he had brought in some comics to trade in, and I gave him credit and I noted the date. And he hadn't been in since then. And it'd been almost 6 months. And he came in today with his dad. I was like, hey, it's so good to see you. Hadn't seen you in a while. He says, yeah, I know. And I was like, I got really worried. So I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're back. And he's like, yeah, well, I just, life happens and you don't make it into the flea market. And I understand that, but good to see he's still around and doing well. He's a young guy, so I didn't think anything really bad happened to him, but you don't see somebody for many, many months, you start to worry, But yeah, if I didn't post a video a day, you guys might start to worry. So it's a definite has to happen. So all right, Manuel says the leg is doing good. Awesome, very good. Boomer says hi to Glenn. Manuel says hello to BB. Manuel says hey to Boomer. Burr says, Glenn, where in Colorado do you live? I grew up there and still go see friends there every year. Okay. BB says, I did see that video where you got her to repeat her script. It was fun, was it not? I had such a great time with that. Glenn says, whoop, that was the cat hitting my mouse with her tail. Glenn says, where did you buy that office chair? Didn't know it had a seatbelt option. Oh, ha, ha, ha. No seatbelt, not in the chair. Manuel says, Glenn, I watched your video, was awesome. Yes, Glenn, there is more coming from Glenn, by the way. He sent me several recordings. I just haven't made them into videos yet. Most likely I will have another one Tuesday. I think I'm planning one Tuesday this week, and then most likely when I'm gone, there'll be at least one more. So, but he's given me a lot of content. I love it. I was telling my family how excited I am that I'm actually getting other people messing with scammers and sharing the recordings with me. It's just, I don't know. It's like my world is just expanding, and I love it. Glenn's fantastic. Manuel says, today is my niece's birthday. Well, happy birthday to her. Fantastic. Tattle says, Larry the mechanic tried asking to repeat his video today. He gave Drew credit for the idea. Excellent. Manuel says, hey to Tattle. Glenn says, I'm in colorful Colorado. We don't have no stinking hurricanes here. Just the occasional, that would be the cat again. Just the occasional 2-foot snow and blizzards. Glad you survived. Very good. Hey, Smidgen's in the house. Says, hi, all. How you doing? Very good. Aaron says, I like that you had the start screen up early. Oh, so that was the difference then. There was some type of start screen. Okay, Avery, I was just telling everybody that I actually scheduled tonight's live stream for 8 o'clock. Instead of just creating the live stream and going live whenever I go live, I actually put a scheduled time in it to see what would actually happen. But I guess it gave some type of countdown, so to let you know what was happening. Cool. Good to know. Sarah says, hey to Jim. Jim says, sorry, that was a cattail again. Jim says, happy birthday to your niece, Manuel. BB says, oh, I got one of those. I did the how are you and your family, etc. We went through the whole deal and he just hung up. That is another one of my all-time favorites when they call and they say, hi, this is Mike with whatever. Hey, Mike, haven't talked to you in a while. How the heck are you? How's your family? How's your mom? How's your dad? Just pretend like you've known them forever and you've been waiting for their call. God, they hate that. Love it. Jim says, hey to Sarah. Manuel says, hey to Sarah. Burr says, I love Larry the mechanic also. Very good. Glenn says, my record scam was a sweepstakes scam that I had going for 3 days last year. I sent you my second longest last week for 1 hour and 6 minutes and a 10-minute spelling test on Friday. I've got both of those. I have not heard them yet, so I'm looking forward to it. 1 hour and 6 minutes means Glenn was rocking it, wasting their time. Very, very good. Love it. Manuel says hello to Births. Aaron says hi to Smidgen. Looks like one of my boys is going back to Lebanon. Oh, no. Oh, geez. Well, thoughts with you, Aaron. Absolutely. Hope everybody is okay and stays safe. Goodness gracious. Burr says hey to Manuel. Manuel says, I watched Larry this morning's video. Okay. Glenn says, a new scam called brushing is where you receive a free small item you never ordered. The document wants you to scan a QR code to review it. Very dangerous. Oh, goodness. I haven't heard of that. You get a free small item on your you never ordered, and documents want you to scan a QR code. Wow. They will find every way they can to get you, you know? Manuel says, Aaron, good evening. Burr says, you'll be in my city next week. Oh, excellent. Excellent. Kansas City, huh? All right. We're there for a wedding. I don't know how big of a wedding it is. I'm sure it's going to be a small thing, but yeah, we're heading up there. Jim says, hey to Glenn. Manuel says, next week we get cold weather coming through. Okay. Well, we're going north, so we're going to skip the cold weather. Maybe. We'll see. Smidgen says, hey to Aaron. Manuel says, hey to Smidgen. Burr says, hi to Smidgen. Tattle says, Hazel called about my car warranty and asked if I had a car. I said, I have 2 cars. Which one are you calling about? She immediately hung up. See, that shouldn't get them to hang up that quickly. You know, they should at least try, you know? I mean, they know you got a car. At least make something up, you know? Ah, well, that's just bad scamming, you know? Bad attempt. You know, don't panic. Do it. Do your job, you know? In this world where people expect people to give gratuity for people just doing their jobs, scammers should at least attempt to do their jobs, you know? They're never going to get any gratuity from me, but, you know, they should at least try. Smidgen says, hey to Births. BB says, I have a window that leaks. It's not actually a window, but there is something wrong with the flashing or something outside. So I am sopping up water last weekend for 3 days. Oh, goodness. You need to get some caulk. Get some of that waterproof caulk and do what you can to seal that. Crazy. Manuel, Smidgen says, hey to Manuel. How's Louisiana? BB says, I can't seem to get my landlord to fix it. Oh, I'd be on the phone every day with him trying to get him out there, because the last thing you want is water damage in your place, you know? Absolutely not. Manuel says, LA is doing good, Smidgen. Louisiana is doing good. Yep. Jim says, got an unauthorized charge on my real PayPal account. Some background check company was charging my account. I called the real PayPal and got it blocked. How much were they trying to put through, just out of curiosity? You know, that'd be interesting. Glenn says, you need to play my short shut up recording. Okay, that'll be the first one I do next then. B Bernie B's here, says, hi Drew and hi chat. Welcome to the show. Smidgen says to Jim, wow, that's kind of crazy. PayPal. Glad you got it blocked. See, I've heard bad things about PayPal. I've used them for years. I've never had an issue with anything, whether it's processing, whether it's sending money, whether it's receiving money, whether it's withdrawing money, I've never had a problem. They've always been, and knock on wood that I don't screw something up and get screwed, you know, but I've never had a problem with PayPal. It's always worked well for me. Maybe I'm just lucky. I don't know. But the only thing that I have issues with is I have a Zettel card reader in my store, which connects to my phone, which processes payments. From time to time, that stupid thing will disconnect and it will take forever to reconnect. This morning, I did maybe 5, 6, 7 credit card charges, no problem. Went one right after the other, no problem. And then later in the afternoon, the damn thing wouldn't connect. And the guy ended up going to an ATM and getting cash because I couldn't get it to go through on his card. At which, I don't know what causes that problem, but it's a pain in the butt. And I'm not sure if that's exactly PayPal's problem. That may be more of a Zettel thing. Zettel is the company that produces the reader. If you're not aware of that, they used to have their own readers. Now they go through another company to maintain them. So I'm pretty sure it's owned by PayPal, but it's a different name. Manuel says hello to Avery. Welcome back. Avery is in the house. Jim says hey to B Bernie B. Burr says, Tattle, I say stuff like that all the time. One time I had 3 Humvees, 4 Bentleys, and 7 Rolls Royces. I do have a Cadillac, but my 8-year-old daughter drives it. That's good. That's good. Manuel says, good evening to B Bernie B. Tarkorf is in the house. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the show. Jim says, thanks to Smidgen and my GTSY. And hey, GTSY. Oh, hold on a second. Let me see if I can figure. I know what that is. Good to see you. Is that right? Is that what GTSY stands for? Good to see you? I think so. Boomer says my SoCal Edison turned off power to a bunch of neighborhoods, but I had solar battery backup and was the only one lit up. Oh boy, that's a good thing. Very good thing. BB says, "Hey Avery, sorry about you aren't feeling well. Get better soon." Manuel says, "Hey to Tarkor." Smidgen says, "Hey Avery, my husband had a splitting headache last week. I'm sorry you have one now." He has to deal with me He has to deal with me sometimes, so you could see why he'd have a headache on a constant basis. Yeah.
Sinuses, constant barometric pressure changes.
Yep, that'll do it to you, especially this time of year. Finn's here. Finn says there is another one of my favorite channels, China Uncensored, doing a live stream right now celebrating 2 million subscribers. Wow, that's too many people for me and nothing informative tonight. Well, see, we still have a small a small group that I can literally read the chat and talk to everybody. You know, you get on one of those channels that has thousands of subscribers and the chat's just going and nobody can read it. Nobody reads it. And then all they want to do is they'll only read ones that give them money. You know, I there's a part of me that hopes one day I'll be that popular. But then there's a part of me that says, I don't want that. I mean, yeah, I would like super chats. That'd be nice. But I like talking to you guys. I spend an hour just chit-chatting with friends, you know? I hope...
If the chat gets too big, too fast, people have no choice. Some people are so big, they don't even read super chats.
Yeah.
They can't. It's too many.
Too many, yeah. But I appreciate everybody who comes in here and joins me. It's wonderful. Aaron says, feel better to Avery. Smidgen says to Boomer, are you in the slip sliding away area of the Palisades? Lady P says, hi, good people. Welcome to the show. Manuel says, hey to Finn. Ruby says, I do not know if they have a GoFundMe. I will let you know. I'm sure a high school probably will have one for them. Very good. Very good. Yeah, if you want to share it, absolutely. We'll put it out there if anybody's able to give. You know, especially if it's somebody we know, you know, it's somebody who has a connection to somebody here. That's a good thing, you know. But cool. Finn says, hey to Manuel. Smidgen says, hey to the Lady P. Jim says, hey to Lady P. Manuel says, hey to Lady P. Smidgen says, I have to bug out in about 20 minutes. One grandkid has no ride home from work. Oh no. Well, go get them. Go be their knight in shining armor, you know. Pick them up and give them a ride. You know, that's a good thing. Lady P says hi to Manuel and to Smidgen. The Costanza says Hurricane Sandy knocked out the Northeast 10 years ago. No power for 2 weeks. Damn. I think the most anybody in my family has experienced is my wife's grandmother lost power, and she lived in an older neighborhood, and she was without power for like 7 days. And that was too much for her, you know. But I think she at some point she went and stayed with my in-laws and all. But you know, she was one of those cranky old ladies that was, you know, I'm from the Depression age, I can survive anything, you know, type of thing. But after like 5 or 6 days, she was like, I'm done with this crap. But 7 days is a lot. 2 weeks is killer. Lady says hey to Jim. Lady P says hey to Jim and Jim R. Tattle says Hurricane Sandy hit New York City in 2012. We lost power for 3 hours. My in-laws lost power for 4 days. See, that's even pushing it. Amp says hello to Manuel. Finn says roof repair. Heck, a lot of people don't have a home left at all. Well, you know, they're going to try anything they can to get your money. So Lena is here, says hello. It's about 60 here. Oh, that sounds nice. Wherever you're at, 60 sounds wonderful. You know, it's so funny. My son and I used to go up to, and Avery a couple of times, would go up to New York for the New York Comic Con, and it's usually in October. And I remember one year, Mike and I got there, and it was like 45, 50 degrees out, and he and I are in T-shirts and shorts, and everybody's in jeans and hoodies and bundled up, and we're like, you people are crazy. This is gorgeous. This is wonderful weather. But, yeah, 60 sounds very, very nice. Manuel says, hey to Lena. Smidgen says, hey to Lena. Sarah says, feel better soon, Avery. Sarah says, hey to
Thank you.
Manuel. BB says, anyone else watching Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power? I'll be honest with you. I made it through the first season with the wife, and we were okay with it. We started watching the second season. I think episode 2, I was falling asleep. And we haven't been back since. There's too many other things to watch. We've moved on to other stuff. I'm enjoying the hell out of the Penguin. I'm enjoying Agatha all along. What did we just wrap up? We just wrapped up something. I forgot what it was, but we're also watching the Perfect Couple on Netflix, which has been interesting. I can't relate to rich people living in Nantucket, but sometimes it's interesting to watch what they're doing. And the other thing I've got going on, it's not one I watch with the wife because she's not into serial killers. I'm watching the one about the Mendez brothers. You know, sometimes they're interesting but creepy at the same time. That's a weird one. But yeah, BB says, hey to Manuel. Sarah says, no scam calls for me in years. Well, that's always a good thing. BB says, glad your leg is better to Manuel. Smidgen says, BB, my hubby had Lord of the Rings on earlier. It's like, it's on. We must watch. But he wasn't. Actually, when it comes to that show, the comparison is always House of the Dragon on Max or HBO, whichever you want to call it. And we enjoy that one so much better. House of the Dragon's pretty fantastic. So it's a good show. It's got great characters, and it always keeps us glued. You know,
I find the characters are nowhere near as compelling as Game of Thrones.
I liked more characters in Game of Thrones, but I still have ones.
I can't even finish the second season.
Really? Of Game of Thrones?
No.
Or House of Dragon?
House of Dragon. I can't. I started trying to watch it. I'm like, you know what? I really don't care. None of these characters are that compelling.
Well, some of them grow on you, or at least they grew on me. But I did read a little bit ahead to see who becomes king after next and so forth. So I kind of have an idea of how it ends, but not the way you'd want, you know. But all right, let's see here. All right, I lost where I lost where I was at. Glenn says to Burst, Longmont, about 10 miles north of Boulder. Okay. BB says, I go from carpal tunnel surgery on Friday, October 11th. Oh, goodness. Well, I wish you luck and speedy recovery with that, okay? Manuel says, thank you so much, BB. Ruby says, I don't get scam calls. I get them on Facebook and Instagram. So I bait them, screw with them, report them, and block them. I give them my name is Eileen Warnos, and my address is the city dump. Laugh out loud. Very good. Very good. That's fantastic.
I did try to watch the Lord of the Rings show.
Yeah.
And there's so much wrong with it.
Oh, yeah.
Like bad wrong that I'm like, this is unwatchable.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, fans.
Now, if they had taken the stuff they had created just for the show.
Yeah.
And done their own thing, because all modern fantasy that we know of, Dungeons and Dragons and all that type of stuff, it's all based off Tolkien. Everybody's ripping off Tolkien. So if they had just done their own thing and called it whatever fantasy, you know,
right,
with those elements that they created, it might be a decent show. But the fact that this is supposed to be Lord of the Rings, it's absolutely terrible. Although it was nice to see Tom Bombadil. But
well,
still,
a lot of people were a lot of Tolkien fans have not been thrilled with the show, and I've never actually read a single one of the books, so I've never been that invested in them.
I haven't either, but I know what's what.
Right.
Because I watch videos on what's what, and I listen to the audiobooks.
Don't you aren't the video games also closely connected to the stories? Were you into the video games or not? As I know, Mike played one of them at least.
I love Shadow of
Mordor.
Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a good game. It doesn't fit, but they tell you going in advance, this isn't canon. This is a sort of, you know, so it's fine, and it's a good game.
Yeah, yeah.
It's it's a really good game. But the stuff they get wrong, they get so horribly wrong.
Right.
That's because they don't have the rights to the Silmarillion.
Yeah, yeah. There's very
They,
there's it's very sparse on what they can actually base it on,
yeah,
which
and
is kind of
it's
sad. So,
terrible.
yeah, yeah. I'm sure there's
It's,
fans out there. BB says happy birthday to Manuel's niece. Manuel says next week I have a doctor's appointment Tuesday morning. Okay, follow up with the knee or the leg. Smidgen says, Glenn, do you have a channel? Does Glenn have a channel? If Glenn had a channel, what do you need? What would he need me for? That's a good question, Glenn. You need to make your own channel. I'll help you if you need it. Sarah says, how is the family, Drew? Everybody's good. Everybody's good. Bert says, I used to have a job in Boulder, so I know exactly where you're at. Uh-oh. BB says, my son's birthday is October 27th. So is mine. He'll be 42. Mine will be, how old will he be this October? 31. Dude, Mike is going to be 31. Do you believe that? Avery was there. Avery was there at the very beginning.
Jeez, Mike's getting old.
He is. He is. Tattle says, I asked a healthcare scammer if she was a scammer. She responded that she's providing a new Medicare card. I told her that's not my question, and she hung up. It's funny how I think it's funny when you ask them questions and they react by, do you think I'm a scammer? It's like, hey, I never brought that up, but now that you mentioned it. But if you ask if they're a scammer, how they react is so funny. Jim says that video where you made the scammer repeat her script, she sounded like a broken 45 record stuck on the track. Yep, and it was a lot of fun too. Manuel says, oh wow, my birthday is October 25th. Very good, it's coming up. Very exciting. Smidgen says, my birthday is next month, and this month is our governor signed a bill that no one over 70 has to take a driver's test anymore. Whoopee! Why would nobody over 70 have to take a driver's test? That seems very weird. You'd think that as you age, you should probably be tested more often. Make sure you're still, capable, Oh well. Glenn says, come on, like only 19 likes? Oh, that's all right. That's fine. Manuel says, I wait for Glenn's awesome video, my friend Drew. Cool. Eugene's here, says, got a tax debt scam voicemail wanting me to call back, but left a UK number. But they called from a US number. Really? A UK number? That's very interesting. Yeah, I wouldn't call them. Yeah, Eugene, I'd stay away from that if you could, BB says, I could hear a sigh of frustration or defeat or something when the scammer was hanging up. I was throwing him completely off script, and it's wonderful when you do it. Smidgen says, I smashed the like button. Excellent. Aaron says, thank you, Drew. No problem. BB says, I don't trust those QR codes. Nope, I wouldn't either.
Yeah.
Aaron says, me neither, BB. BB says, some of those QR codes, like at the end parking lots, are fake because they are stuck up all over the real ones. You know how easy it would be to put a QR code on a sticker and then just place it over an actual QR code? Super, super easy. Super, super easy. Tattle says, scammer said she was a healthcare department of Medicare. I said, I don't know Medicare called people's homes. She immediately hung up. Yeah. Eugene says, I love the warranty calls, and when I tell them I'm almost 40 years old, they hang up. Really? So, okay. I didn't think the warranty ones were age based or not, but hey, that whatever gets them to hang up quickly, that's a good thing, Manuel says, hey, European, welcome back. I think he's talking to Eugene. Andy says, those women scammers don't have patience at all, and I love to mess with them. Me too. But when they quickly hang up, I pretty much know why. The Costanza says, you're going to Kansas City to steal this cheap Super Bowl championship they don't deserve and bring it back to Jacksonville, where we absolutely don't deserve it. Why would I do that? I'd rather have us win honestly. And it ain't happening this year. As everybody knows, it is definitely not happening this year. Squeezing, hello, welcome, says Pentagon briefed the Israeli-Iranian war. Israel attacks today. U.S. News, Israel versus Lebanon war. Something News 18 live on YouTube. Is this like a spam type, trying to get people to switch to some other channel. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Squeezing. Thank you. Thank you so much. Manuel says, "Hey, Andy. Good morning." Smidgen says, "I've been calling the scammers by name of the caller ID that shows up. They don't like it much when I hassle them about it. The only times that happens for me is when they call from a business name and it comes up with the business name, which I think is hilarious. Most other times it comes up just as a number, so I can't actually call them out on that, but still." BB says, "I know what you're saying, Drew. I can't really read anything. It just goes by so fast." I'm going to skip squeezing again. Andy says, "It's evening, Manuel, but I'll bet that was a typo." He might have thought you were like Pez or somebody that's in the UK or like Pez is in Australia. He joins often where it's already Sunday morning there, so he just got a little confused. No big deal. Jim says, "Scammer Payback streaming channel has many subscribers, and the chats fly so fast they can't read it." Yep, I believe it. I've been to one of those live streams with a channel that has millions of subscribers, and the just goes crazy. And I mean, it's like you're like, oh man, I wish I could get there someday. But
Yeah.
then again, no, not
I,
what I want to do.
I was watching a PewDiePie live stream one time because he
Yeah,
was streaming a video game I wanted to watch. This was a few years ago, and the chat was going by so fast. There were so many people there, even so many super chats. He just talked about what he wanted to talk about and play the
right,
game.
right.
He didn't read anything.
Didn't read anything. Well, yeah.
He didn't
I
even try to. It's too
honestly,
much.
my live stream is more about me interacting with the people than
Yeah.
just you're just talking about what I want to talk about. Now, granted, we do go off on tangents and talk about stuff
Yes.
all the time. As a matter of fact, I have a story that I want to tell, and I'm so glad Avery's here because Avery will appreciate this story. I'm going to read chats for another few minutes, and then I'm going to stop and take a break and tell you guys this story. I had probably one of the most fantastic interactions with a guy at my store today that I just cannot wait to tell somebody the story. And I may tell the story all over again on one of the other channels because I had such a great time with it. But let me get back to the chat so I can try to catch up. Boomer says, "Nope, San Bernardino, where all the homeless can get away with living in the parks." Oh, jeez. Smidgen says to Boomer, "Bakersfield, Ohio. I see that area in the news from time to time." Tattle says, "Scammers claim I could get Vision coverage. I asked what's Vision. She spelled Wision. I told her that there's no letter we in the English language. She hung up." Wonderful. BB says, "Can't remember exactly when it was, but we had a remnant of a hurricane that came up here to Ohio, and we without power for some place for about a week, in some places for about a week, though it seemed to be every other street." That's weird, but yeah, that's a week. That's a lot. Jim says, smiley faces to Tattle. Tarkor says, "Told Medicare scam callers I accept too many cashback signups and was convicted of Medicare fraud." That's good. I like that. Smidgen says to Tarkor, "That's a good one." Yep, absolutely. BB says, "I love the Lord of the Rings series, but guess it's not for everybody." If you can turn off your brain and just sit back and watch all the pretty pictures and enjoy it, that sometimes is good. But when you try to make sense of some of the silly things they do, it throws you out of it. It's like watching that that Acolyte series on Disney. In the very first episode, there's literally a fire burning in space, and it threw me out of the series for the entire rest of the series. I just could not get that out of my head because she was looking at the fire and she was remembering a flashback to her childhood, something that happened in her childhood, but she's literally on the outside of a spaceship fixing an issue, and there's a spark and a fire. And it just threw me out of the series, just threw me completely out. It was so ridiculous. I just couldn't get a hold of it anymore. It had that much of a punch in the face that the rest of the series was like, oh my God, they had fire in space, you know? Jim says, smiley faces to Tarkor. Larry's here. Hey, Larry says, "Hey, Drew, Avery, and all in the chat have taken up Drew's challenge on getting scammers to repeat parts of their script. Fan-frickin-tastic." I got a girl to go 4 times. I'm going to try to go more. I know in the past I've done this in the past. I do not remember how far I got with it, but 4 is a pretty good number. If you can get 4 or more, go for it. Manuel says, "Hey, my friend Larry, good evening. Awesome video this morning." Finn says, "Power outage for weeks. How do electric cars leave the area or do anything? Gas and diesel will work and get people to safety. Everyone should have a generator no matter where they live." That is good advice. Everybody should have a generator, but you need to maintain your generator. You can't just stick it in a garage or a storage shed for 4 or 5 years and expect it to work perfectly when a hurricane hits. You need to maintain it. I was telling the guys last night that my wife's grandmother had a gas one that actually had gas in it. And when a storm came through and we pulled it out and went to go power it up, the gas had dry rotted some of the tubing, and gas was just leaking. Yes,
the gas
was just leaking everywhere.
Now,
and it's like
here's
useless.
how you avoid that if you can, by buying a generator that's dual fuel, so you can also use propane.
Or marine gas.
Or marine gas.
Right.
It's pure gasoline.
Yep. Maintain your generator. Don't just put it in a corner.
Change the oil after you use it before you put it up.
Yep. All right. Tarkor says, or Lady P says, "I'm totally into true crime." Excellent. I do find some of those shows entertaining and creepy to watch, but sometimes they push the boundaries. That guy Ryan Murphy, who does American Horror Story, he's actually like one of the producers of the Mendez one, and he makes creepy stuff sometimes. Sometimes I find it interesting. Sometimes it's just too creepy. And there's parts of that show that are getting a little too much for me, to be honest with you. But I'm still sticking it out. Larry says, "Good evening to Manuel." Thank you, my friend. Burst says, "Yesterday when the PCH scammer told me about my regular fee, I told him that my bank is in the downtown Kansas City, but there was a hurricane and the Federal Trade Commission said to stay home." He hung up. Very good. Okay, I'm gonna jump ahead a little bit. Smidgen says, "Y'all have a good evening. Time for me to go. Have a great week and stay safe wherever you are." Absolutely. Thank you for joining, Smidgen. Nigella's in the house. Welcome to the show, Nigella. I'm going to jump ahead a little bit. What is this? Finn says, "Squeezing that 1 million is just her personal contribution. All of her companies are doing the same thing. She is a genius, genuinely super lady." I must have missed I thought Squeezing was trying to blast out spam stuff, so I stopped reading their stuff. So I don't know what you're referring to. But anyway, all right, I'm going to just skip down a little bit, see if we got anything else. Burst says, "While in physical therapy yesterday, I got a Medicare scam call. I couldn't mess with them, so I asked a hard question. You in Pakistan or India?" Denied it. Why does everyone in Medicare speak Hindi? It's a very good question. All right, so I'm going to take a break now. For the last couple of minutes, I'm going to tell you guys a quick story. I had probably one of the most memorable interactions with a customer today. I get guys all the time coming into my store, bringing in comics that they want to sell, and I'm generally a pretty easygoing guy when it comes to buying comics. If you bring me a stack of comics, even if it's a bunch of quarter comics, I'm going to make you an offer. I'm going to try to buy them because I love comics, but I had a guy last weekend come in. This is a young kid, right? And he had a stack of comics, probably 10, 15 comics. He literally was pulling it out one at a time and handing them to me one at a time. And each one he was trying to pitch me on them, right? He goes, "Oh, this one's like really rare and hard to find Wolverine." And it's like a really common Wolverine issue. But I mean, I appreciate the fact that he was trying. But Avery, at one point, he handed me a book and said, this one's a really popular one. He handed it to me and it was in a plastic bag. And it literally had my barcodes, the barcodes that I print out, that I use on it. And I'm like, you do realize this came from my quarter bin, right? Because if it's in just a bag, it's from the quarter bin. And he had like 3 or 4 of them. And I like, yeah, those are quarter comics. And he's like, he still wanted to pitch me on each and every one of them. And I let him do it. But I didn't laugh at him. But in my heart of hearts, I was laughing my ass off because it was so fun.
I'd have laughed at him.
Well, I didn't. I took it seriously, but when you left, I was like, oh, I got to tell everybody. Okay, but today's adventure,
Yeah.
a guy pulls up on a bicycle. Okay, so you already know this is not a guy that would have money, right? He came in on a bicycle. He walks in and he has one of those Walmart bags, right? And there's something in the Walmart bag. And he walks up and he says, "Do you buy comics?" I said, "Absolutely. What do you got?" He says, "Oh, I've got one to show you." And I said, "Okay, cool." He reaches into the bag and he pulls out a box, but the box is wrapped in what appeared to be a white pillowcase. Now, was it a silk pillowcase? I don't know, but it was white and it looked like a pillowcase. And he's like trying to pull this thing, and you could see he's working at it really hard. Okay, but he's trying really hard to get it out. And he pulls out this black, hard handle case, you know, and it looks like one that you might see somebody walking around with like handcuffs on. And it literally had a lock, a key lock attached to it. So he goes over into this little area and he pulls out his keys and he's going through the keys, and he's trying to stay away from everybody because he doesn't want anybody to see what he's doing. And he goes and he unlocks the case. Now, first thought goes through my mind, Avery, is he's bringing me a Hulk 181. That's got to be it. It's got to be it. Now, where this guy would get a Hulk 181, who knows? For everybody out there who doesn't know, Hulk 181's first appearance of Wolverine, it's a several $1,000 book. Even in beat up, bad condition, it's worth money. So I'm thinking to myself, he's got something worth gold in this plastic, hard plastic locked case, right? And I said to him, I said, "Do you know how much this item is worth?" And he says, "Well, yes, I know exactly how much it's worth, but I'm looking for about $200. Okay. All right. Now I'm curious. He said, "It's a really rare book from 1961. And I go, "Okay, sure. Let me take a look at it." And I meant to do this earlier and I forgot, but let me do this real quick. I'm going to actually bring up the listing for the book that he showed me. So he opens up the case, right? And he opens it up, and in the bottom half, there's nothing. There's nothing in there. In the top half, there's like styrofoam white padding, like holding something in, right? And all I'm thinking to myself is, this has got to be good. This has got to be good, right? All right, hold on a second. All right, I meant to do this earlier, and I forgot. He pulls out something out of it's in a Mylar bag, which for anybody that knows, Mylar is probably one of the best bags to put comics in, because it's acid free. And if you've got a comic worth a lot of money, you want to put it in a Mylar bag to keep it from getting from fading or anything like that. So he's got it in one of these really nice bags, no boards, just a bag, right? He pulls it out, and it is, I'm going to share the screen with you and show you what it looks like. It is, share, this 7-11 Marvel Comic Collector Edition featuring Spider-Man, Captain America, the Hulk, and Spider-Woman. Okay? Now, if you remember correctly, he told me it's from 1961. And I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute. Spider-Man wasn't introduced till like 62. So how can this thing be 61? Right? But he's adamant it's from 1961. Well, I look at him and I say, "I don't know the title of this book. Can you open it up so we can see the copyright on the first page and see what the actual name of the book is?" And believe it or not, the name of the book is Spider-Man, Captain America, Incredible Hulk, Spider-Woman. That's the name of the title. It was a special 7-11 limited edition, giveaway comic. And now, granted, this comic was in pretty good condition, but based on Comic Price Guide, a 9.4 copy in near mint condition is a $30 book. And for some reason, he thought it was worth $200 or more. And here's the kicker. When I looked it up, you'll notice that the date is January 1981. Well, when we looked at the copyright, you could see the name of the book, and it said it looked like 61, but it could definitely be, it was definitely 81, but it looked a little bit like 61. And I turned to him and I said, This is a book. This is a limited edition 7-Eleven giveaway from 1981, not 1961. And it's worth about $30. And he says to me, no, it's not. And I said, okay, well, I'm not interested. He looks at me and says, well, then I need to find somebody who knows something about comic books. All I can think to myself was, yeah, because you don't know crap about them. And what was so funny, there were 4 other people in the store at the time. They were on the other side of the wall listening to this entire conversation. And when the guy was adamant that this was from 1961, and I said, I'm pretty sure Spider-Man didn't debut, and it was. Amazing Fantasy was 1962. I'm pretty sure Spider-Man didn't first appear till 1962. I heard a guy on the other side like chuckling, like he knew that too. He knew that as well. And when the guy said to me, well, I need to find somebody who knows something about comics, and he put everything and he walked back out again. Avery, I waited for him to leave the store, but I didn't wait for him to leave the area, which means when I started yelling and screaming, what the hell? What the value? This idiot! And he was literally standing right outside the door and heard everything I said, which was fine with me. But they were laughing their asses off, going, what the heck? Because they overheard the whole entire conversation. And I showed them, on my phone, this image of this comic. Said, this is what he thinks is from 1961. And they're like, oh my God, this guy's an idiot. I said, well, yeah.
That's early 80s trade dress. Late
It is.
70s.
No, this is 1981.
Yeah, but that trade dress is from late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah, he was convinced that I was lying to him, number one.
Look to see
and
if
I know nothing about comics.
Look to see if 7-Eleven even existed in the 60s.
Yeah, I don't know if it did or not.
Look to see. You can Google that too. You can look that up.
Hold on a second. Let me look real quick. But needless to say, I've never had anybody come into my store. And if somebody asks me a question about a comic that I don't know about, I'm honest. I have no idea. I don't know anything about that comic. I have no idea what you're talking about, But something like this that I could actually physically look up in a price guide and tell him what's going on, and he's like, no, does not believe a word I said. And I'm not saying we would have came to blows, but this is the first time I ever wanted to pull out my bat and say, get the hell out of my store, you crazy ass, When was the first 7-Eleven open? 7-Eleven opened the first in China. Well, that's China. That's not what I'm asking for. 7-Eleven open in USA. The chain was founded in 1927 as an ice house store in Dallas. It was named Totem Stores between 1928 and 1946. So you're talking early 50s then, was when it became 7-Eleven. So it was definitely around in 61, but this book is definitely not from 1961.
Was it a national chain? No,
probably not. I mean, it was probably small enough. It wasn't. That book did not come out before Spider-Man was even introduced. It just didn't happen. But he was adamant that it was 61.
Look at the art style too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and it's gorgeous. And the issue was very nice.
The art style's not 1960s either.
That's true.
The art style's late 70s.
But oh my gosh, I tell you what, guys, I have so much fun in my store that just tipped the scales, and I was smiling for the rest of the day after having it. What an idiot, but I loved it. All right, guys, I thank you guys so much for joining this evening. I hope you enjoyed the show. I know we went off script and stopped reading the chats out for a little bit, but I really wanted to tell that story because it was just hilarious to me. I just absolutely love sharing stories, and that's just one that, that should be one I should be sharing on my comics channel, my YouTube channel for the comic store. But I barely get anything over there anymore. But I'm working on it. I'm working on getting regular stuff over there again. But thank you guys for joining. Thank you again. I will let you all know. I'll put out a community post confirming that next week's live stream probably won't happen. But I appreciate everybody coming in. And yeah, Glenn says 7-Eleven Dallas 1927. Yeah. Oh, goodness gracious. Hope everybody has a great, fantastic weekend. Hope everybody has a great week. Remember, if you get calls like the ones I get, either hang up on them or screw with them like I do. And if you do screw with them, try to record it and share it with everybody. Remember the golden rule. Ask Glenn. He'll tell you. Screw and share. All right, everybody. Thank you guys so much for joining. Avery, it's always a pleasure. I'm so glad you're here. I hope you get some rest. Take care of that headache as quickly as possible if you can. But once again, everybody, be safe. And we will see you in 2 weeks. Definitely in 2 weeks. A week from now, I'm not sure. Not 100% sure, but I'll let you all know. Take it easy, everybody. Good night.